Hello friends, and welcome back to Swift Guitar Lessons for another beginner-friendly song tutorial. In today's session we're going way back to 1964 as I break down the Drifters classic Under the Boardwalk. So for this tune we're going to be making use of some very catchy bass lines, calypso strumming patterns, and also basic chords. These are all techniques that will translate well to thousands of different songs. Now you can follow along using my chord sheet and my tab at patreon.com/Swiftlessons. Support the channel there and gain access to a ton of extra resources for all my popular YouTube guitar lessons. Now let's get started with a full demonstration of the tune. I want you to see what you can figure out using your musical instincts, then you can jump into the instructional segments. Let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, when the sun beats down and burns the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so high you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, yeah, on a blanket with my babies, where I'll under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. From the park you'll hear the happy sound of a carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs and french fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, yeah, on a blanket with my babies, where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. On a blanket with my babies, where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. Okay, a close look at the fretboard, getting started with our intro section. We're in standard tuning, the key of G major, one of my favorite keys to sing in. Okay, so this intro is going to sound like this, real slow. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Okay, so very, very simple. The 3rd fret of the low E string, a G note. Then we're going to play 2-0, the A string and D string. Then we're going to the 2nd fret low E, and then back up to 3, before going to the 2nd fret of the A string, a B note, to finish up the riff. So 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 2, repeats twice. Okay, so if you can do that, then you can start to jazz it up a little bit by putting these percussive slaps on very specific beats. In the first measure will be beat number 2, and then in measure number 2, you'll have it on beats 2 and 4. So that would sound like this. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. One more time. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, that's definitely going to take some practice, and one of the tricks is making sure that when you slap the strings, you're going to have your pick land on the string that you're going to pluck next. So in this case, I just landed on the A string because I'm going to go to that 2nd fret of the A string. Okay, if you can do that, then you're ready to move on to the verse section. Okay, very good everybody. Now jumping into our verse section, where we're only going to be using 3 chords. The 1 chord, the 5 chord, and the 4 chord in the key of G. So the 1 chord in the key of G major is G major. The 5 chord, let's consult our major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a D note, so it's going to be D major. And the 4 chord in the key of G is C, so C major. Okay, so for the beginners out there, that 1 chord G major, 3rd fret of the low E string, 2nd fret of the A string, and the 3rd fret high E string, G major. And the 5 chord D major, we're grabbing the 2nd fret of the G, the 2nd fret high E string, and also the 3rd fret of the B string, strumming from the D string down. And that garden variety C major chord in the open position, I've got the 3rd fret of the A string, the 2nd fret of the D string, and the 1st fret of the B string, C major. Okay, so those are the only chords you need for this verse section: G major, D major, and C major. Okay, so applying those 3 chords to the first verse, we're getting started with the G chord. Now there's plenty of options in terms of strumming, but you can get by through the entire verse section using just a basic calypso pattern. Bass, down, up, down, up. One more time. Always make sure you can count it. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, so the strumming pattern takes up 1 measure of music. We're gonna have 2 measures on this first G chord. Oh, when the sun beats down and burns the tar up on the... Alright, from there we're going to the D major chord for 4 measures, or 4 repetitions of the strumming pattern. Switching that bass note to the open D string. Roof. And your shoes get so high, you wish your tired feet were fired. Alright, from there we're back to the G chord for 2 measures. Proof. Under the... Alright, then we're on to the C major chord for 2 measures. Boardwalk. Down by the... Alright, then we're on to the G major chord, 3 measures. C, yeah. Line number 4, on a blanket with my babe. Alright, then finishing up to the D chord for 1 measure. B is where I'll... And then back to the G chord for 2 measures. B. Alright, put all that together and we have verse number 1. See if you can play along. 1, 2, 3. Oh, when the sun beats down, burns the tar up on the D major. And your shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Here comes the C. Under the boardwalk, down by the G major. Line number 4, on a blanket with my baby is where I'll G major. Okay, very good everybody. If you can do that, then you're ready to move into the chorus section. Okay, excellent work everybody. You have the intro and you have the verse sections complete. Now we're jumping into the chorus section, where we're going to be introducing the minor 6 chord in the key of G. So consulting our major scale, G, A, B, C, D, E. The 6th note of the scale is E, and that means that we're going to be reaching for the E minor chord to start this chorus. 2nd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, strumming E to E. Okay, this chorus section is going to sound like this. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk. fun under the boardwalk. People walking above under the boardwalk. We'll be falling in love under the boardwalk. Boardwalk. All right, so a little lick there at the end for this first chorus. Okay, so we have the E minor chord, and we're strumming bass, down, up, bass, down, up, down, up. That's line number 1. Once more, that's strumming bass, down, bass, down, up, down, up. All right, and keep in mind, this is my own arrangement for solo performance. There's lots and lots of different strumming options here. All right, we're gonna do the same thing over the D major chord for line number 2. Bass, down, up, bass, down, up, down, up. Notice how that second measure there is just that calypso pattern. All right, we're gonna repeat that once more. The E minor chord, bass, down, bass, down, up, down, up. All right, on to line number 4, the D chord again, bass, down, bass, down, up, down, up. All right, then on the final line, we're gonna play. Taking that E minor chord on and off the fretboard. All right, from there, we're gonna throw in a little lick that I guess you could say is optional. All right, the original, he actually does a little bit of a hammer-on. All right, because we have multiple guitar players. But for solo performance, we're gonna play it like this. All right, that was the 2nd fret of the D string, open G. All right, then we're gonna go to the 2nd fret of the G string and slide up to 4, before grabbing the 3rd fret of the B string, and then sliding back to 2, where I might throw in the open G string, although I'm not hearing it in the original track. All right, that'll get me back to the G chord, and then also match the rhythm to the lyrics coming in for verse number 2. So, from the park you'll hear the happy sound of a carousel. All right, now let's put the entire chorus section together now. 1, 2, 3. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the D major. We'll be having some fun under the E minor. People walking above under the boardwalk. We'll be falling in love under the boardwalk, boardwalk. From the park you'll hear the happy sound of a carousel. All right, so that's verse number 2, played the exact same way as verse number 1. All right, after that, we're gonna have chorus number 2. That's played the same way as chorus number 1. And then that's gonna get us into an optional instrumental break. In the original track, there's a really beautiful string section here. We're gonna do our best to do it justice on the guitar. Okay, moving right along, we have our intro, we have our verse, and we have our chorus sections complete. Now we're jumping into the instrumental break. At a real slow tempo, it's gonna sound like this, coming out of chorus number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boardwalk, boardwalk. Get you into verse 3, which is a half verse. Okay, breaking that down, getting started with line 1 of 2. The first lick we have is for the chord G major. Okay, so very simple. I'm on the 4th fret of the G string. I'm gonna play that twice. Then I'm up to 5, back down to 4, into the next measure, the 2nd fret. Then we're gonna do a pull-off technique. 4 down to 2, and then 2 to 0. Just kind of peeling the fingers away, plucking the string with the fret in hand. All right, from there we're gonna go to the G major chord and play down, up, down. You put that lick together and we have. Okay, now sometimes I like to fancy it up by playing a triplet pick in the beginning of that lick. A little bit more Spanish sounding. Okay, so 4, 4, 4. down, up, down on that 4th fret of the G string. Then continue the lick as normal. Okay, now the next lick is going to get us to the chord D major. One more time, get it into your ear real slow. Okay, so I'm on the 4th fret of the G string and 3rd fret of the B string. Those are the only strings I'm going to need for this technique. I'm going to play those 2 notes twice. Though if I like, I can do another triplet pick. Alright, then I'm up to 5 and 5, back down to 4 and 3, and then up to 7. I might like to do a little bit of vibrato there. So far you have. Alright, then I'm going to walk down 5 and 5, and then ultimately back down to 4 and 3. Alright, you put that together and we have. Alright, from there we're going to go to a D major chord and play down, up, down. Alright, that sums up line number 1. You put it all together and we have. Okay, now moving on to line number 2, it's going to sound like this. And then get yourself to the G major chord to get yourself into the verse. Okay, so that began with us in this D major position. Okay, we're going to keep the 3rd fret of the B string and 2nd fret of the high E string. We're going to pluck those notes twice, then go up to 5 and 3 of the same strings, and then back to where we started, 3 and 2, but switching my fingers up. Alright, that's one measure of music, starting with that strumming technique on the D chord. Alright, then into measure 2, we're going to play. I'm on the 7th fret of the B string and 5th fret of the high E string. Pluck that 4 times. Make sure you get that rhythm. Alright, then go up to 8 and 7 of the same strings. Now we have 2 measures of music. You want to stop there and practice. One more time, real slow, the D chord. Alright, then into measure 3 we're going to play. Alright, so that was 10 and 8, B string and high E. We pluck it 3 times before going down to 8 and 7, and then 5 and 7, and then back up to 8 and 7, which is a little tiny piece of a G chord. Okay, so this is getting us back to G major. Okay, that sums up all of those little double stops we have. So you put that together and we have 3 measures of music. Okay, from there, I'm going to go to a G major chord in the open position and hit it with an upstroke. And from there, I'm going to just repeat 8th note strums for 2 measures. Okay, filling in the space. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1 under the boardwalk. All right, then that will get me back into my verse section. Okay, now we put the entire solo together and it should sound like this, coming out of that E minor in chorus number 2. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. One, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1 under the boardwalk. Okay, then that gets us into verse 3, which is an abbreviated verse, just the final 2 lines of your verse section. Alright, then from there, we're going to jump into one more chorus to end the tune. Congratulations, everybody. You're ready to perform. Alright, friends, thanks so much for checking out this Drifter's guitar tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. As always, big thanks to my supporters at patreon.com/Swiftlessons. Hope you're enjoying all those extra resources. And thanks to you guys, I got many more lessons coming up, so keep checking in. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.